In the midst of the Cold War, as tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union reached a fever pitch, the U.S. government embarked on a mission that would defy belief and venture into the realms of the extraordinary. This was not a mission to deploy a new weapon or to develop advanced technology. It was a mission to harness the power of the mind. The story begins in the 1970s, in a research lab in California. The U.S. military, CIA, and Defense Intelligence Agency, desperate for an edge over the Soviet Union, initiated a top-secret project to explore the potential of extrasensory perception, ESP. They had learned that the Soviets, including the infamous KGB, were investing millions into similar programs. To counter this, the CIA began their own clandestine research under the project that would later be known as Stargate. As the project gained momentum, it moved from the research labs in California to the fortified walls of Fort Meade, Maryland. Here, a select group of individuals who claimed to possess ESP were recruited. These individuals, known as remote viewers, had the ability to perceive and describe distant locations and events through the power of their minds. One name stood out among the remote viewers: Joseph McMonagle. His journey into the world of psychic espionage began during his service in Vietnam. McMonagle had experienced a helicopter crash that left him hovering between life and death. During this near-death experience, he had an out-of-body encounter that would change the course of his life. Word of McMonagle's extraordinary experience quickly spread through the ranks, eventually reaching the ears of officials at the Department of Defense. Intrigued and convinced of his potential, they brought him into the fold of the Stargate project. McMonagle's abilities were soon put to the test in a series of operations that seemed straight out of a science fiction novel. He was tasked with uncovering enemy military secrets, locating hostages kidnapped by terrorist groups, and even tracing the paths of fugitive criminals within the United States. The work was perilous and shrouded in secrecy, but the stakes were too high to ignore. The success of the remote viewing program could tilt the balance of power in favor of the United States, offering a strategic advantage in the never-ending chess game of the Cold War. While working at the Monroe Institute, Joseph took a much-needed break after several exhausting ESP sessions. Suddenly, he was jolted awake by an urgent task. Two agents from the Department of Defense stood before him carrying a sense of urgency. One of the agents reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. Inside this envelope, the agent said, is an index card with coordinates and a date. We need your immediate attention on this matter. Transcript, date, May 22nd, 1984, time, 10:09 a.m.
We have a unique and urgent task for you today. In my pocket, I have an envelope containing geographic coordinates and a specific date. Can you tell me what's at that location without me showing you the card?
Sure, I'll give it my best shot.
Excellent. Let's begin. Using the information in the envelope, focus on 40.89 degrees north, 9.55 degrees west.
I see. It looks like a pyramid, or something pyramid-shaped. It's massive, towering over the landscape like a sentinel from an ancient civilization. It's sitting in a large, depressed area, almost like a vast, dry seabed.
All right. Move in time to the date indicated in the envelope. What do you see?
The air is thick with dust. It's like looking at the aftermath of a major disaster. The once grand structures now lie in ruins, their smooth surfaces marred by time and the elements. The air is thick with dust, swirling in chaotic patterns, as if a great storm had recently passed. Severe dust storms, some kind of geological catastrophe. The ground is cracked and barren, and the atmosphere feels charged with static, a reminder of the violent forces that have shaped this place.
Just report your raw perceptions at this time.
Before the catastrophe, there were large flat surfaces, smooth angles, and enormous walls. Megalithic structures that spoke of a civilization with advanced engineering capabilities.
All right. Look around this area and see if you can find any activity.
Shadows of people, as if they were there but are now gone, linger like ghosts in the fragmented memories of this place.
Go back to a period of time when they were there.
It's fragmentary. I see tall, thin beings, very large, They're wearing strange clothes, shimmering and form-fitting, almost like a second skin. Their eyes are large, and they move with a grace that is both alien and mesmerizing.
Now move to another location, 46.45 north, 353.22 east.
Deep inside a canyon, the walls are carved with intricate designs, telling stories of a time long past. Huge, smooth stone structures rise up, forming a labyrinthine maze of corridors and chambers.
Do these structures have insides and outsides?
Yes, they're enormous, like a maze of rooms with high ceilings and wide walls.
Move to another location nearby, 45.86 north, 354.1 east.
It's like the end of a large obelisk, like the Washington Monument, but grander, more imposing.
Let's move to another point, 35.26 north, 213.24 east.
The scale of everything is colossal, as if designed for giants. I'm in a huge circular basin surrounded by mountains. Everything is enormous. The basin is filled with remnants of structures, partially buried and eroded. I see a right-angle corner of something, but not much else, just hints of what once stood here.
Move a little from this place, 34.6 north, 213.09 east.
A cluster of squares almost flush with the ground connected. They reflect light, shimmering in the dim, otherworldly sunlight.
What's your position as you look at these structures?
An oblique left angle catches my eye. The sun is strange, like it's very far away, casting long, eerie shadows across the landscape.
Move slightly to 34.57 north, 212.22 east.
I see a radiating pattern of roads or channels, cut deep into the ground, like veins in the earth. Neat channels, very deep, like sunken roads, leading off into the distance.
Describe these shapes.
I see pointed structures on the horizon, very vague and misty, their shapes blurred by the dust and distance.
Hold your focus, moving now to 15 degrees north, 198 degrees east.
Intersecting channels like aqueducts crisscross the terrain, their purpose long forgotten.
Another movement now to 80 degrees south, 64 degrees east.
Both inside and outside, the structures are massive, built to withstand the savage storms that rage across this world. They're shelters, havens from the relentless weather.
Go inside one of these structures and find some activity.
Different chambers serve various functions, some for sleeping or hibernation, others for gathering and working.
Tell me about the ones who sleep through the storms.
The inhabitants are ancient, waiting for something. They have a sense of patience, of enduring time in a way that is beyond human comprehension. Tall, thin beings in tight-fitting silk-like clothing move through these chambers. They're ancient, waiting for something significant.
What are they waiting for?
A group went to find a new place to live due to environmental collapse. They wait for a return or an answer, their hope undimmed by the passage of time.
What caused the environmental disturbance?
I see a globe passing through a comet's tail or cosmic river.
Ask them if they know who you are and if you can help them.
A celestial event that marked the beginning of their wait. They must wait. They think I'm a hallucination, a figment of their long wait.
How did the others leave?
A large, shiny metal craft, like the inside of a boat, appears in my vision. It's sleek, streamlined, built for space travel.
Follow them on their journey.
The world around it is volatile, with volcanoes erupting, gas pockets bursting, and strange plants that seem to thrive in the chaos. It's like out of the frying pan into the fire, a hostile environment that they've adapted to survive. The beings' eyes reflect a mixture of hope and resignation, as if they know their fate is tied to the cosmos in ways they cannot fully control. The landscape is a testament to their resilience, a harsh, beautiful reminder of a civilization that dared to reach for the stars, even as their world crumbled around them.
Return now to the present time, May 22nd, 1984. Come back to the sound of my voice.
After the session, Joseph asked the agent, "Where is this place? Is it a new discovery?" He didn't think it was possible to have rooms that big inside pyramid-like structures. The agent handed Joseph the envelope, then left. Joseph hesitated at first, then opened it and read, Mars, 1 million BC. He was baffled and started to question his own ability. He knew what he felt was real. He knew what he had seen, he didn't make up. Days had passed and he was thinking to himself, there must be a way I can confirm what I've seen. Curious and determined, Joseph realized that if what he had seen was real, there must be satellite images from NASA satellites photographing Mars while orbiting the planet. And there's only one place that would have them. Joseph knew that taxpayers pay for space projects, and that he had a right to request them as a tax-paying citizen. Joseph traveled to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, in California. At the front desk, he handed the same exact index card with the Mars coordinates and date to the attendant and asked for images of those locations. The attendant looked at the card and said, "Oh yeah, that's the old city on Mars." He opened a drawer, picked up a packet, and handed it to Joseph. Joseph left JPL, the images of an ancient Martian city in his hands, a tangible connection to the enigmatic visions he had experienced. The mysteries of Mars, 1 million years BC, were now a part of his reality.